Good morning, students. As in our previous video we were talking about biodiversity, and I told you about different levels of biodiversity. In the same series today we are going to discuss about different patterns of the biodiversity. So student, as we know that the biodiversity is not uniform throughout the world, means it is unevenly distributed throughout the world, and we can say that there are two factors which are responsible for this uneven distribution of biodiversity, and the factors which are affecting the biodiversity in this world are of two different types, and these two factors are latitudinal gradient and species area relationship. So I mean to say that there are two factors which are responsible for uneven distribution of biodiversity. The first factor is latitudinal gradient and the second factor is species area relationship. So initially I am talking about latitudinal gradient. So students, it's quite common that we will find out that if we will move from equator to the polar regions, so definitely we will find out that the population density or the species diversity is regularly decreasing while we are moving from equator towards the poles. I will give you some examples, except few exceptions. Uh, I am giving you one example. Latitudinal range of 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south harbors more species than temperate or polar areas. Now, if you will observe, means Earth is going to be divided into latitudes, and if we will observe the latitude of 23.5 degree north, and we will observe the latitude of 23.5 degree south, the region which lies in between it harbors more population density, or I have to say that it harbors more number of species or more diversity comparatively to the regions which are lying just above of it or below of it. Means the region of the temperate which is lying beyond this region, and the polar regions which are beyond these regions have less biodiversity or less number of species as compared to these regions. Similarly, one more example I am giving you, that if you will observe Colombia, and this Colombia is located near about the equator, it contains or it bears approximately 1400 species of the birds, while the New York, which is located at 41 degree north, it has only 105 species. We are moving little bit far from here. We are going to 71 degree north, near about Greenland. There we will obtain only 56 species of the birds. So as we are moving from equator to the north region and towards the north pole, the Colombia, which is located near about the equator, it has 1400 species of the birds, while we are going little bit far 41 degree north at New York, we are getting only 105 species of the bird. We are moving more far towards the north direction, 71 degree north, we will get only 56 species of the birds. So in this way we can conclude that the biodiversity is quite decreasing while we are moving away from the equator. Suppose we are talking about India, with much of its land area in the tropical latitudes, it has 1200 species of the bird. India, mostly the region lies at the range of the tropical region, and here we can get approximately 1200 species of the birds. Okay, and in the picture you are observing the Amazon rainforest. Here we know that the most of the biodiversity can occur, and I want to tell you that the largely the tropical Amazon rainforest of South America has the greatest biodiversity on the earth, and it bears more than 40,000 species of the plants, 3,000 species of the fishes, 1,300 species of the birds, 427 species of the mammals, 427 species of the amphibians, 378 species of the reptiles, and more than 1,25,000 species of the invertebrates. So we are observing that the Amazon rainforest, which is lying near about the polar regions, near about the tropical regions, having a great biodiversity. You are observing how much species of different plants, fishes, birds, and mammals, amphibians, and reptiles are lying there. Okay. Now one more question can arise that what is the reason that the biodiversity is quite rich in that particular region. So different scientists or different ecologists propose different reasons for this much high biodiversity. The first reason, ठीक है, as the temperate regions have undergone frequent glaciations in the past, it killed most of the species. Some scientists believe that during at the temperate regions the glaciation occurred for most of the times, and various times the glaciation occurred and which killed most of the living organisms or most of the species on that particular region, while the tropical latitude remained unchanged or no glaciation occurred in that particular area. So they are undisturbed from the millions of the years, so the diversity is quite greater in that particular region. The second reason is that the tropical environment has less seasonal changes, ठीक है, and the niche means the habitat is specialized, and there are not variabilities in climatic conditions in that particular region, so the biodiversity is going to be flourish in that particular region. And the third, near about equator or the near in the tropical region, the sunlight is available in the abundant quantity, so it results the higher productivity, and higher productivity provides more food to the living organisms, and it retains the biodiversity in that particular region, ठीक है. So these are the three regions through which we can say that how the biodiversity is greater in that particular region. The first one, temperate regions have undergone glaciations. Comparatively, the tropical region have not undergone any kind of glaciation. Second, tropical environment has less seasonal changes. Third, the solar energy is available in the abundant amount in the tropical region, which creates more productivity here, and more productivity leads to high biodiversity. Okay, now the second factor which is responsible for differences in the biodiversity, and this is called species area relationship, and this was better explained by one scientist, and I have to say that he was a naturalist and he was from the Germany. The name was Humboldt, Alexander von Humboldt, and he observed that if we are increasing the area, so definitely the species richness will increase in that particular area. In a smaller region the species richness will be less. If we will increase the area, so along with the increasement in the area the species in richness will increase, but it will take place certain limit or up to a certain limit, ठीक है. And then he tried to plot a graph between the species richness and the area. Then he find out that the graph is like a rectangular hyperbola. Now I want to show you the graph, ठीक है. Here in the picture you can see the graph is lying between the species richness and area, ठीक है. In x-axis you can see that area, and in y-axis you can see the species richness, and it's a rectangular hyperbola type of graph is there. While we are plotting this graph into a log scale, so we will find one equation, log s equals to log c plus z log a. Here I am explaining what are the values. Here s means the species richness of that particular area, a equals to the area, z means the slope of the line जिसको हम बोलते हैं regression coefficient, and c equals to y intercept. So while we are plotting the graph between the species richness and area, so we will find out a rectangular hyperbola type of graph, and while we will write it in a log scale, so we will find one equation, log s equals to log c plus z log a. Here s means species richness, a means area, z means slope of the line or regression coefficient, c equals to y intercept. And at last I want to tell you that why species diversity or biodiversity is important for an ecosystem, because it increases the stability of the ecosystem, it increases the productivity of the ecosystem, and if the biodiversity will be greater, so definitely the ecosystem health will be more better. Thank you.